Burns today in Sartell on Pinecone Road, and I am going to show you how to make a cake that looks like a birch bark log that you can do at home without special equipment or fancy tools. Just frosting and some tools for smearing. So I have two 8-inch rounds. I'm going to start by putting some frosting in the middle. Put our next one on top. And I'm going to start with putting a little icing around the outsides to keep it from wiggling during our next steps. We just take a glob, smooth it back and forth, little beauty pageant wave, use your wrist. It doesn't have to look pretty. This is just a functional part. Smooth it up. Don't worry if the cake is showing. We'll cover it up. Alright, now we're going to start with the top. I have my 3 colors for the top, which is like the exposed rings of the tree. A nice tan, a medium brown, and a dark brown. I'm going to start, I have a big tip on here, about a size 12. I'm just going to go around. Just going to draw some circles. Again, they don't have to be perfect. It's a tree. We're going rustic. Now I'm adding in another color. Make it a little more interesting. And we'll add in our other brown. Okay, now is the fun part. You can use a spatula or just like a regular cake smoother, whichever has a nice flat edge. You want to find the middle, put it down, and turn. Try not to move it around too much. Just turn the cake and hold your hand steady. And it'll give you kind of a ring look. Okay, so next we're going to do the outside. We're going to start with putting on some white. This will be a little tricky because you have your color up on the top, but it doesn't have to be smooth by any means. If you do have an icer, one of those big tips, you can certainly use that to do this part too. Don't worry if you touch the color on top. It's a tree. It's supposed to look a little dirty and imperfect. Okay, now we've got it covered. It's got some edges, but I'm not worried about that right now. Alright, so I have gray, and I have a wider tip. I'm going to use a rose tip. Since it's wide, you could use a basket tip or just another really big round tip, but I want to use a flat one because I don't want to just add a whole bunch of frosting to it. It's more just about adding these stripes. So I'm going to place random stripes. Leave a little bit of white showing. Don't get too carried away, but it's your tree, so you make it look how you'd like. Now I have black, and I don't want to add it a whole bunch, so I just have like a size 2. And I'm just going to add little bits here and there. And I'm not worrying if it's a nice line. It's all just going to get smeared up anyways. Now black's a pretty strong color, so don't go too nuts, so your cake might end up just being black. So again, I'm gonna take my icer, some sort of smoothing device of your preference, and I'm going to just be brave and just drag it. If you want to stop, take some of that stuff that builds up, scrape it off so you don't get too much color smeared everywhere. Just keep going. Now you can always go back if you think you have, I like this side, it's got the right amount of color. This side maybe doesn't have enough color for me. You can go back and add it. And if you miss some parts, just go back and hit it up again. Just keep taking off that little extra bit so you don't get it too muddied up. So right now I'm liking it. I want to add texture though, because birch bark has like a peeled kind of look. So to do that, I'm just gonna pull and then lift. And give it that kind of peeled up look here. There, I like that. I'm gonna stop before I go too far. Now as far as this part up here, you can leave it if you like it. I, on the other hand, I'm gonna take another knife and just kind of lift some of it up. Just pick it off. I'm not gonna smooth it, but there. Next, we're gonna finish it off with a couple little touches. First, I'm gonna clean the board. We're not gonna put a border on it, so we want the board to look nice and neat. And we want to add the carving, the heart carved into it. I'm going to use this rose nail, but you could use any kind of skewer or stick-like object to do this part. I'm just going to pick a spot, find which area I want to be the front. Okay. I'm going to just draw out a heart. Once I kind of like the shape, I can go back and make it a little more defined. Now it's supposed to look like someone did it with their pocket knife, so it's okay if it's a little off or choppy. I'm actually going to put a little bit of my gray frosting that I've been scooping up. I'm going to stick that in there to help highlight the heart a little more. And then we want to add the little arrow. There. And then for our last touch, we'll put a monogram in the middle. Now, if you want it to show up a little better from a distance, you can certainly take your black and just pipe in to the M. And if you want to rough it up a little so it doesn't look like just piping. It makes it easier to see, but it doesn't just look like you wrote it on there. Alright, and now that that's like that, I am going to finish off this part with a little piping so it looks all the same. I want to make sure everyone can see our special detail. Just work it in there and smear it around a little. Okay, so we've got our detail on the side. Now we're just going to finish it off with some fresh flowers I got over at our floral department. I have some baby's breath. It's nice bright peony. So there we go. There's our birch bark tree cake.